Okay, so let's just start off with 2 jokes. Number 1, if the technology doesn't work, it's Tad's fault because we're on Mid-Atlantic Broadband Fiber. Okay, joke number 1. Joke number 2. Everybody else got to stand down front, but Brian comes up to me and says, Julie, you may want to get on the riser. So now we're going to make fun of short people. Again. Good morning. We are grateful to Region 3, grateful for the opportunity to look out in this crowd, and I would say for us, 50% of the folks in this room have partnered on GO TEC. This is our initiative together. So we're going to let Nancy's Pool Region 3 Love Fest just keep on trucking. It is about partnerships every day. It's about people coming together and thinking about strategically, what can we do together? And Terry will appreciate this, understanding our demographics, that for our region, and Lauren mentioned this, largest in geography, smallest in population, the need to work together to aggregate and do something at scale is going to be our competitive advantage. This work that we're doing together, because we can add those numbers instead of talking about 20 students being in a welding program, we're going to talk about 200 plus students being in a welding program, or in a precision machining program, or studying mechatronics, or thinking about robotics and automation, and programming Raspberry Pis. That's going to be the differentiator. So we'll go ahead and go to the next slide, because we're going to get you to the slide and stuff. We want to see why we do this work, why we do this work together. So just here are some images. We're going to go through them. So just to make sure you've heard GO TEC, to make sure everybody understands kind of what GO TEC is big picture. A lot of people have in their heads that GO TEC is about putting cool equipment in middle schools. Yes, it is absolutely about that. But GO TEC is a talent pathway. GO TEC is this, okay? GO TEC is about us doing something magical that starts in middle school, because we intuitively know this. This is not rocket science. We gotta get kids excited. They gotta hear about this stuff, right? So, and middle school's probably not early enough. Right now, that's where we are, 6th grade. So starting with career connection labs, and then students progress once they're hearing and touching and seeing all this cool stuff in those strategic sectors. They're gonna transition to additional foundational training through career and technical education programs, through dual enrollment programs, through the CTA, all of these exciting opportunities that keep that momentum, keep them interested. From there, they'll go to a community college in our region. We're blessed with 3 in Region 3, or a higher education center. We have 3 of those in our footprint, to continue that post-secondary education, to finish that certification in those strategic areas. And then this concept of advanced hub. You've heard the word hub, right? So how we think about that next step, because with the evolution of technology, those opportunities to give extraordinary, deep training, and again, integrate those work readiness skills that we know our employers are seeking, and add additional stackable credentials, again, in those targeted industry sectors. So this is GO TEC. It's about creating a big funnel that we get young people excited, we show them opportunity, we connect to the private sector, and create high-wage jobs. Okay, next. And so, I don't have all the arrows, Randy, that you were talking about, or the stars and dots and all that, but this is about success by scale. So, again, Virginia, Region 3, we're the mini Virginia, sitting right in the middle at the bottom. But this is what we're doing. So, GO TEC this fall will be in 23 middle schools across the Commonwealth. We're in 18 right now. So we're going to expand. We're expanding into regions 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this thing is just exploding across the Commonwealth. So again, as we think about economic development and that GO TEC brand and what that will tell prospective business and industry about what we have to offer in the Commonwealth of Virginia, how that may look a little bit different, but that is rooted here in Region 3. We will be the test bed for innovation, You can see some of the, again, those aggregated numbers, and those are off already. Those are low. So again, this opportunity to talk to business about where their future workers are coming from, but what's great is they can go and see it. And we learned that message early on. If you think about that 2040 census data, we know where they are right now. They're being born in this region. So if we want to impact the 2040 census, we know exactly how to do that, right? So all cool stuff. I think that might be it, right? Oh no, but don't want to forget to show Frank and Tommy, right? So you're going to get an opportunity. So this is what this really is about. Those were outcome numbers. Previously outputs. These are outcomes. Job growth, right? So we've had 8 new and expanding companies, and that's low already, with over 1,600 job announcements in those targeted sectors. So our challenge that's in front of all of us is where are those workers coming from, right? So we got to get to them and help these young people see opportunity, and through our fabulous higher education partners, continue that through our K-12. I know Dr. Jones is here with Pennsylvania County Schools, and so many of our partners, Dr. Adams, who chairs our board, and I think I saw Greg Hodges, I thought at one point, Dr. Hodges, there he is in the back. I mean, again, I could go on and on because there's one of you at every table that's involved with this initiative. So I'm going to stop because we want to get to this is Jake Taylor. I cannot even begin to tell you the skill sets, like the depth and breadth of his skill set, but he is perfect. He is our training coordinator, so his job is to troubleshoot equipment, set up equipment, think about innovative ways to tie all these pieces of equipment together. He even went and got his CDL license so he could drive the bus that's in the parking lot and take it places, because we know if 6th graders are opting into this, then what do we have to do? We got to get them excited as 5th graders, right? They got to hear about this in 5th grade, so when they're checking the form, they're checking that they want to come into a GO TEC Career Connections lab. So we're going to show you a little bit of that energy, excitement, and I'm going to turn it over to Jake to talk a little bit about what's happening.
Thank you, Julie. And I don't have 2 jokes, but I do have 2 treats for you guys today. So
you want me we'll see how this works. We only had 1 dry run yesterday and it worked great. So I'm going to go here real quick if I could. Kaylin Hunter, who's my counterpart, a colleague from Region 1, is here. Kaylin, raise your hand, please, and put you on the spot. Region 1, and certainly through Kaylin and the University of Virginia at WISE as their support organization, has been in lockstep with Region 3 for GO TEC. And that's how it really got started, between the collaboration between these 2 regional councils. So I wanted to do a little shout out for that. All right, you're pressure time.
So Brian brought it to my attention that even though all of our partners, stakeholders, and everybody that we work with across the region has seen on paper what GO TEC is and what the Career Connections Classroom does, they may not have a very good idea of what the classroom looks like, especially in motion. So what we attempted to do for you today, guys, was bring you into 2 classrooms with a live stream. So we have 2 of our partnering schools. We have Pennsylvania County Schools, Chatham Middle School, joining us on a Zoom today. They're bringing us 2 different viewpoints of their classroom, and we're going to kind of narrate and talk about what they're doing. And we also have Gretna Middle School, which is another Pennsylvania County school, and Christy Shelton and her lab, and we'll talk about what they have going on in their lab. So I don't know if you want to pin one, Brian. You want to pin that top left? We'll start with Chatham Middle.
You think I know how to run this?
So Sonia Soares at Chatham Middle School is actually a first-year teacher in this program. Chatham Middle School has been in the GO TEC program since the pilot program. So Sonia came in this year, and we initiated our training procedures with her throughout the summer and throughout the school year. So she has her 7th grade students in her lab right now, and they're doing the manufacturing engineering unit, one of the 9 different units that students go through in Career Connections. So she is going over education requirements, median salary, hourly pay for manufacturing engineers. She's also reviewing lean manufacturing concepts. They're talking about Lean Six Sigma this week and how you can minimize defects and productivity. They're also identifying waste in the manufacturing process. So the activity that you see her in her hands right there in the back of the classroom, it looks like a little bowl on a magnetic board. It's a dry erase board that's magnetic. So what the activity that she's introducing does is it sets up the students to make an ice cream order, something as simple as creating an order of ice cream. So she has an order board at the front of her room. It's propped up right here on this, that's an armrest for her welder multi-purpose tool there. So she has an order board at the front of the classroom where she gets to place a bowl, cone, different types of ice cream, different toppings to represent an order of ice cream. She has strategically placed the toppings, the different ice cream, the vessel, whether it's a cone or a bowl, throughout the room, on purpose, not in any organizational pattern. Students are timed to complete that order. And after they time that time to complete the order, they analyze the layout of the room and start talking about areas of improvement. So was there waste in the fact that they had to run to the back of the room to grab a bowl, run all the way to the front of the room to get the vanilla scoop that they needed to complete the order? So they analyze the waste, and then they give them a chance to make some improvements, and they go through several iterations of this until they get that time way, way down from order to completion. So that is Sonia's 7th grade class completing that activity. Brian, if you would, we'll go to Ms. Shelton's class. So our other classroom, that's the rear of Ms. Sawyer's class right there, one down, very bottom. Yes, sir. So Christy Shelton has been one of our Career Connection instructors since I started my position in 2019. She was a Career Connections instructor for Gretna Middle School prior to adopting the GO TEC program. So she has gone through the growing pains of adding the equipment, learning the curriculum, attending the training. So she has her 7th grade class today, and they have a guest speaker in place. And they have a special guest speaker that is a former Gretna Middle School Career Connection student. His name is Leighton Wilson. Leighton Wilson attends the Pennsylvania County Career and Tech Center in Chatham, Virginia, and he is a CNC, a precision machining student there. He recently competed at the state level in CNC machining for Skills USA and was a gold medal recipient. He will be competing at the Nationals in Georgia, I think in June. So Leighton has come back into Christy Shelton's classroom to help deliver some of the content for their precision machining unit, one of the other units that they cover in Career Connections. So Leighton has a PowerPoint presentation that he's provided, and there is on the right-hand side, on the other side of that photographer, there is a CNC Haas desktop build that is the highlight piece of equipment for that module. A lot of things going on at Gretna Middle School today. So Leighton is going over some of the concepts and skills that are involved in precision machining, and he's also going to go over to the desktop mill later in this unit where he's going to do some hands-on demonstration, run some programs, perform that subtractive manufacturing process for the students. So do you guys have any, those are the 2 modules that they're covering today, kind of asynchronous from each other. Manufacturing engineering, precision machining. There are 7 other units in the Career Connections curriculum. We have automation and robotics, IT coding and networking, manufacturing engineering, which was what was highlighted at Chatham Middle, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, precision machining, which is being highlighted in Christy Shelton's classroom, metrology, and healthcare. I think that's 9. Welding, I've skipped one, that was 8 out of 9. So welding is the last. Yeah, so inside of each of those modules, so we'll start with welding. In welding, we have the Lincoln Welding Simulator. So later on today, we're going to give you a chance to go see some of this equipment in person. We actually have some on campus on our bus. We have the Lincoln Welding Simulator that allows the students to perform MIG, stick, and TIG welding without consumables, without the fear of electrocution, without the fear of being burned in the middle school classroom. So that is for their welding unit. In precision machining, we have the Haas desktop mill, so they can perform CNC milling right in the classroom, 3-axis milling. They go over work holding, they go over tooling, and they go over the tool path and how a CAD program generates a tool path for that manufacturing process. In mechanical engineering, we have the 3D printers from Dremel and we also have a laser cutter engraver. So we have two different processes that the students can design to be manufactured in within that mechanical engineering unit. And both of those are kind of on opposite ends of each other, an additive process versus that subtractive process. We have two different types of robots in the room. We have Vex IQ robots. They're located on the top right in storage. You can see one kind of all the way on the top right. It's on top of the box up there. So the sixth graders use the Vex IQ robots to actually build the robot, program the robot, drive it around, complete some challenges. And then right in front of us, I see Miss Rigney in the picture as well. There's a GoBot Magician, kind of dead center of the screen there. That's a robotic arm that has different end of arm tools that the students can use to complete various tasks in a manufacturing setting. We also have that on our bus as well. We use various softwares in the IT coding and networking. Students start with a visual programming language Scratch, and then they make that connection between a VPL to a script type coding, such as Python. In electrical engineering, students use the multimeters. They use the Raspberry Pi microcomputers. They use breadboards. They use various resistors, jumper wires, all of those types of things to do investigations on measuring voltage, measuring resistance, building circuits, PLC type activities. What am I forgetting, Julie? Yeah. So Julie and I prepared for any questions that you guys may have. And we also want to extend an invite. At 1:20, you have a networking on your agenda. If you're a fast walker and you want to take a quick trip and walk in and out of the GO TEC bus, we have it parked right out front. If you walk out the front door and follow the GO TEC emblem, you'll walk right into one of the slides, and we'll let you in and show you around on the bus. And later at the end, when we adjourn today, if you've already seen the SOVA Innovation Hub, we don't want to rob you from that tour. But if you attend that tour and make your way back here and we're still in the parking lot, we invite you to come out, ask questions, take a look at the equipment, check out the bus.
Any questions? I think one of the things that you need to think about, why are we doing this? Why are we going to the sixth graders? If you think about what manufacturing looked like for my parents, okay, this is a whole new ballgame. It's not the same thing. It's not the shoe factory. Nothing against shoes. But you get the idea of your mind. So you have to show these kids, these young people, what does a job look like? How much money can I make? Can I make a living at doing it? And they have to understand it. And not only that, you have to train and educate the parents so that they understand what a new job in today's economy looks like. This is how you do it. Well, this is how you begin to do it. Yes, sir.
Two questions. One is how are the students chosen? And then are you oversubscribed? Do you have enough slots?
So depending on school division, some school divisions have sixth graders that have to actually sign up because of their student populations and capacity in the classroom. The classroom is designed for a 20 student capacity max, and that kind of goes back to CTE, safety concerns with some of the various pieces of equipment. So we do have school divisions where every single sixth grader gets into this classroom for 9 weeks and is exposed to career connections. And in those school divisions, after sixth grade, they opt in as a seventh grader or eighth grader. We also have school divisions due to capacity and student enrollment to where not every sixth grader can sign up. So Julie and I have discussed using the bus as an outreach, a recruitment type tool to get out there when they're fifth graders to make sure that they are signing up, that all seats are filled for those sections. And what was your second? Could you revisit the second one?
The second question, do you have unmet capacity? Do you need more seats?
So we do have some schools that want to put in 2 labs at the middle school because of the demand. And also, do you want to talk about you want to mention the high school pathways in terms of what this might turn into later on?
Sure. So I think again, this is about a big funnel and generating, interest. And so then looking at some of the career and technical education programs that are having to turn some students away. because those enrollments are capped at 20. And so again, that's something for us, all of the partners we're working together is what are some creative ways we can solve this. I'll give you one good example at the middle school level where we're looking at this is Henry County schools. They've got enough students that want to take it, enough students they want to put through the curriculum. What they've done is they've co-located 2 classrooms side by side. And Jake's working with them on how to offer, because pedagogy is still important, right? Like how you introduce these units, because these concepts build on one another. So how we can offer or think about the 9 weeks, but 2 different opportunities, and they're going to share the equipment in the middle. So, again, they're not all using the welding simulator at one time, so 2 classrooms sharing the equipment so they can double capacity. So again, I think as we all partner together, these opportunities to share innovation, because if it works in Henry County, then it will absolutely work in Mecklenburg and Brunswick. And so we're all sharing those stories together, how we're rethinking. Kaylin's here, so we'll talk a little bit about Southwest and even in our footprint as well. Precision agriculture. And so Jake is testing right now a small innovation of vertical farming, but it's run on a PLC controller. So what's the programming? Chad Patton asks, what program's running that PLC, program? So that's got IT in it. It's got mechanical, because there's a pump on that thing to move that water around. So, and they can do that in that 9-week module. They can be harvesting herbs, lettuce in the 9 weeks and running all kinds of experiments and things. But again, the opportunity to introduce precision ag, because that's important to Region 1, but it's also important to Region 3. Region 4, they're talking to us now about a biotech. How do we introduce pharma to 6th graders? So again, the opportunity of 1, protect the GO TEC brand. So that GO TEC brand is trademarked because we are very appreciative and sensitive to, this is a Virginia product. Everybody in this room, this is a Region 3 product. This is Danville Community College. They can be harvesting herbs, lettuce in the 9 weeks and running all kinds of experiments and things. But again, the opportunity to introduce precision ag, because that's important to Region 1, but it's also important to Region 3. Region 4, they're talking to us now about a biotech. How do we introduce pharma to 6th graders? So again, the opportunity, 1, protect the GO TEC brand. So that GO TEC brand is trademarked because we are very appreciative and sensitive to, this is a Virginia product. Everybody in this room, this is a Region 3 product. This is Danville Community College, Patrick Henry Community College, South Virginia Community College, the Southern Virginia Higher Education Center, the Institute, New College Institute. That's where the conversation started, with employer voice at the table to say, we gotta get more young people interested. There are good jobs that are going unfilled because we gotta help them see that it's not the manufacturing that their grandparents, right, are telling them about, or their parents are telling them about. There are tremendous good paying jobs, and we just need to do a better job of getting to those middle school students in a variety of different ways and get them hooked. So.
Julie, why don't you talk a minute about major clarity and also the internship program that's beyond that. In other words, what this is talking about is how do you get from middle school to a job?
Sure. And I think that is important. So for GO TEC, and remember, GO TEC is the entire pathway. That middle school piece, like they'll never sign up for that stuff in the high schools if they don't get excited about it. So again, with GO TEC in the middle schools, it is about career exposure, introducing those principles, getting them excited about those pathways. So then they're opting into those courses in high school and into post-secondary. GO TEC is designed in high school to flip from career exposure to skill acquisition, right? So get them hooked, but then they gotta start developing those skills and enrolling in those certification classes, dual enrollment classes. At the time that GO TEC, well, even before it flips, and hopefully you saw that on the screen, and Jessie Vernon's here, and she'd be glad, raise your hand, Jessie, to tell you more about ExperienceWorks. So ExperienceWorks runs in tandem with GO TEC. Experience Works is our intentional effort to think about sustaining that career exposure and connection to the employer. Because again, if Go Tech flips and we're developing skills, how do we get students, they still have to start building those relationships intentionally with employers. So Experience Works builds on the Career Expo event, and hopefully many of you have already supported that, and we're expanding that to Hampton, Sydney this fall. Hopefully be able to do that in person. That's 7,000 students that come to those 2 expo events. Again, employers drive that event, start introducing their businesses to students. It's driven by the District C opportunity that Brandon mentioned. It's teacher externships. But then the end of the day is how do we scale internships, apprenticeships, externships, job shadowing, and be intentional about that. So Major Clarity was the first part of that, to put an online platform out there. So for all you businesses, we don't want 15 school systems contacting you, different ones, trying to set up internships. We want one thing for you to learn, to post your internship, post your apprenticeship opportunity, and 23,000 students. So again, you talk about partnerships. We have 15 school divisions that all agreed to adopt the same platform, help pay for it. Go Virginia met us halfway with some leverage fund. So again, that's scale. So now we talk about a systems approach that says, okay, now how do we push information to 23,000 students? And make sure they're all aware of these opportunities. So we're grateful, happy to see the focus on apprenticeship. We're trying to drive that and are having some conversations with Dolly about how we drive that. Because again, think about manufacturing and the message that we've told a lot of young people for a long time. Oh, we can't have them in here till after they graduate. They picked something else because you said you couldn't talk to them. North Carolina is eating our lunch. 45 minutes away from Danville, there is a precision machining company, and they have a goal that 25% of their employees out of a workforce of about 350 are going to be high school apprentices. They're in a registered youth apprenticeship. They come there at 16. It can be done. We've got to do a better job about pushing. I'm on the platform, right? I got the stage. Youth registered apprenticeship in manufacturing. We've got to figure it out and get young people connected before they graduate from high school. So that's my point.
Probably time for one or 2 questions.
Anybody else?
Somebody on this side of the room, Liz is just dying to put a mic in front of somebody.
Randy stole it.
Wait a minute.
All right.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.